How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of West Coast born Hazy IPA, hopeful goodness, in the form of Ecliptic Brewing. It's their Phaser Hazy IPA. Ecliptic. I've done a few of their reviews as of late, and honestly, I'm a fan of the brewery. The first time I ever had them was some barrel-aged stuff sent to me by my West Coast malty brethren, David. He just sent me some good stuff, and in that mix was a bit of Ecliptic stuff. Since then, I've been lucky to have had the brewery send me off some stuff. Most of the stuff they sent me has been kind of yeast or malt-driven stuff. I believe there was one IPA in there, but this is the first time they sent me something of the hazy variety. So I'm excited to give it a whirl. As far as what it says on the can itself, it says Ecliptic Brewing, Phaser Hazy IPA. Story time, I think not. On its own, no, it's on the side. A little bit of story time, very short. Juicy and unfiltered, Phaser Hazy IPA turns a lively array of fruity hop aromas. Stuns with a lively array, I should say. And that'd be that. It was canned on the 26th of January. Today is the 20th of February, so under a month old. Label-wise, I actually kind of like it. It reminds me of old school kind of like cheesy laser taggy vibes, you know what I mean? Neon, that kind of bluish neon with that kind of orange neon thing. The thing you'd see it like laser tag or the old, date myself, the Michael Jackson room when he went in the Thriller room and stuff like that. You people don't know that stuff. You're way too young for this. Anyway, yeah, I kind of do like it. So the label's always been nice. Nothing blows me away, but you know, I dig them. So West Coast Brewery trying to do the hazy thing now. They're gonna go kind of all in on this New England hazy, juicy kind of thing, or are they going to do kind of a West Coast version of that? Let's find out. First things first, what do we have? Just over a pinky finger, infinite creaminess. You sleep on that motherfucker. Pretty tight, compact bubbles throughout. A whole bunch of dirty glass mafia going on there. And on top of that, we have a rich, juicy, hazy kind of look to it. I mean, it definitely has that part of that New England style hazy IPA. So yeah, rich, deep oranges. See if we get a nose on her. Tell you what, man, they're definitely going for that East Coast thing. You're getting tons of rich kind of tropical fruits, melons, kind of papayas, a bit of mangoes going on in there, but you do get a sweeter kind of citrus, nothing too crazy, nice kind of orange to it. Definitely kind of tropical fruit with a little bit of citrus leaning on it. Definitely sweet, nothing too bittering in the nose. Well, there is a generic kind of bittering in there. I wouldn't go generic, just a greeny generic kind of bittering. Let's go that way. But it definitely leans that kind of sweet, kind of juicy thing. So, yeah. Let's taste it. Cheers. It's not too shabby. It lacks a bit of pop in the mouth, but it definitely has that East Coast vibe in the nose. It's definitely there in the taste, but it just kind of just want a little bit more from it, kind of fruit-wise, juicy-wise, and even bittering-wise. 6.5%, I think. I didn't say it, but it is. You get this big nutty kind of crackery malt on it. It's got a nice mouthfeel to it. It's nice creamy and fluffiness to it. You're definitely kind of leaning more in the kind of now more citrus than tropical fruit kind of vibes in the mouth, but it's definitely way smaller than the nose would suggest. Still tasty, still nice. That green bittering is probably now kind of caught up to that kind of fruity portion of the show, but it's all kind of a generic greeniness, generic kind of citrus, and more of a generic kind of kind of fruited meloniness. It's nice. It's chuggable. It's drinkable. I dig it. Definitely not a poopy can of beer, let's put it that way. But it's the 6.5% where it kind of not necessarily loses me, but kind of I wish it was a little bit smaller. You told me this is sub 5%, I'm on board. I'm all about it. But at 6.5%, I do want something that's a little bit more impactful. Yeah, it's nice. It's drinkable, chuggable. It's just more of a kind of session vibe I'm getting from it, taste-wise. I am getting this kind of big, robust, kind of hazy, juicy, kind of New England-style hazy IPA, which is what they're going for here. And they're not going for the West Coast vibes here. They're going for the East Coast vibes. They accomplish it pretty well. It just kind of misses the mark, especially at its ABV. Now, is that a travel thing. When the brewery does send me kind of cans and bottles of beer, usually takes about a week. We're in the dead of winter. I don't know if it really matters that much, but, a week out in the wild, it could have affected a little bit, but, I don't know. I don't think so. It's just a really nice beer. That's the thing. If you give this to me at sub 5%, I'm all on board. So I'm not saying it's not a tasty beer. I just want a little bit more impact at my 6.5%. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better, let's go this way. Is it one of the better West Coast born, East Coast beers from a non kind of super beer nerd, elitist kind of trading standpoint? Actually, yeah. I haven't had a lot of the kind of West Coast hazy New England style stuff. Sans a couple from the people that everybody freaks out over, your amongst the world and those kind of breweries. And it's pretty damn tasty. Like I said, all in all, it's a really well done representation of the style. It's just missing me in the ABV portion of the show. Value availability, I don't know. Ecliptic, I think we do see some on the East Coast, not here in PA, but very close. And I know it's up and down the West Coast, so maybe someone out there can chime in as far as availability and if they see this on their shelves, and leave you with if you like what we like this. If you like the hazy IPAs and you're out West Coast and you want to know what they're like, I mean, this is actually a very good kind of, I don't want to call it methadone level kind of beer when it comes to this kind of stuff, but it definitely has the vibes going on. So it's executed well, it's done well. It's just, I wish it was a little bit lower ABV wise. 1.5% lower, and you would have been kind of pulling at my heartstrings, Ecliptic. But at the same time, it's a really tasty beer. So if you like the hazy stuff, you don't live on the East Coast, or you don't get the kind of hipster beers, whatever the hell you want to call them, but you do see these guys on the shelf, there's going to be a nice little kind of easy to get one. Let's put it this way. If Ecliptic had the kind of distribution that, let's say, Thomas Hooker has, where I am, where you are, then it's kind of one of those really nice kind of shelfies that you could pick up. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, anywhere in between, down our words and stuff and things. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped, Massive Beers, all four of those places for me on the social media end. On the podcasting end, beermassive.com. Go in there, brewing reviews, roundtables, opinion pieces, in podcast form, much different than what I do here. And there you go. Another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you enjoyed a nice West Coast born, East Coast laden, New England style IPA right now. And hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.